welcome along. For those of you who are going to watch this is aimed really at anybody who's got some mobility issues as far as legs or arms are concerned. So particularly anybody who's had a stroke in the past who's within our group. You may find this useful, and certainly if anybody who's got a stronger or weaker side, you're going to find this useful. Okay, so I know there's 3 or 4 people that this is going to be directly aimed at, but it can be just as beneficial for all of us. All right, we're going to look at shoulders and we're going to look at legs, and we want to make sure that we're not ignoring our weaker side. So we're going to try and focus on that. All right, so first things first, we've had a bit of a warm-up. If you haven't had a warm-up, have a bit of a circulation booster for me though, so a little bit of a march on the spot, and keep that going for around about 2 or 3 minutes, just so you feel as though you want to take a big deep breath. Ideally, I want you to do a warm-up firstly, a complete warm-up, so go and have a look at one of the warm-ups that we've got online and do that. But if you've done a bit of exercise already and you're going to add this on, perhaps had a little bit of a sit down for a couple of minutes to give yourself a rest, do a circulation booster, and then do this. Okay, right, seated position for our first part of it. So we're going to sit in our chair, down. Our feet are flat on the floor. All right, we're sitting tall on our sitting bones in our bottom. So for the purpose of this, imagine your sitting bones in your bottom, so the bottom part of your hips, top part of your hips, and where the pelvis is. Imagine they're the feet of your bottom, okay? So they need to stay in contact with the seat the whole time. So we're not going to lean across, yeah? We're not going to lift that bottom as far as this is concerned. We have one of our weights that we've used in previous. So as always, I've got a 4-pint bottle, empty bottle of milk here, which has been filled with water, as you can see, coming up to about that line there. So not right up to the top. Make sure the lid is nice and firmly on as well. That weighs 2.5 kilograms. So, doing the maths, if we come down to a 2-pint bottle, we're looking at 1.25, 1.25 kilograms. And if we come down to a pint bottle, you're looking around about 75 kilos, 0.75 kilos, so around about 3/4 kilo. So you've got lots of options there. Also, of course, if you want to, you just empty some water out. It doesn't have to be exactly, 1.25. You can do whatever feels right for you as far as that bottle is concerned. All right. So, sitting nice and tall, let's focus onto our weaker side. So I'm going to, for the purpose of this, so that when I turn sideways I can show you, I'm going to use my left side as my weaker side, okay? I want to make sure that I lengthen through that arm. And firstly and foremost, I want to make sure that I'm sitting tall. So let's grow a little inch between the hips and the ribs, okay? Don't know about you, but I've been doing plenty of growing an inch this way around here with all this lockdown. It's got to go. So let's grow an inch this way now, okay? Sitting tall, lifting the shoulders back and down and bringing those shoulder blades together. I know in the classes sometimes, when we do that as a stretch, I say to you, think about cracking walnuts at Christmas. But that's the sort of motion you're looking for there, is bringing those shoulder blades together and feeling that there. And I'm not going to squeeze it so tight that you would be able to crush a walnut, but imagine bringing those shoulder blades together so you feel it there. Now, our natural position over time is we've started to slouch, so we start to bring these shoulders forward a little bit, okay? You can see here, this is how we tend to sit, shoulders come forward. What we need to do is lift those shoulders back. And can you see what happened to my chest when I did that? When I do that, and when you do that, the ribs open, the chest cavity opens, so we're allowing more oxygen in. We're going to get more blood around the body that's oxygenated, more oxygen around the body, and that's what we use as one of our main energy sources to our muscles. So really focus on that, and you will find that because of that slouching that we tend to do, we've shortened the muscles at the front, we've lengthened the muscles at the back. So when we go into that, it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable to start off with, but the more we do it, the easier it will get and the less uncomfortable it will feel. But it's the best position for us. That's how our posture should be. All right, having said all of that, I've got my weight down here. I've got this arm long. I'm not going to let it come down. So bring that shoulder up so it's level with the other one, okay? And what I want you to do for me is just lift that shoulder towards your ear. Yeah. Now, A lot of the times I've said in the past where we've got one arm weaker than the other, support it with the stronger arm, but on this one I don't want us to. I want to focus just on this shoulder, and you might find that it's a very little movement. It may only be here, look, it may not be very big at all. But that's the movement I want you to focus on and feel it, okay? So try and take as much as you can towards your ear, but again, don't lean across. So we're not trying to work into this area here, and we're just trying to work into that shoulder and that arm. So we should feel the weight down through our arm, and we should feel that through our shoulder. Now, even though we're focusing onto our weaker side, what I want you to do is take it across onto the other side as well and do some there. Because even though we want to focus on this side, we don't want to forget the other side. Likewise, a lot of the time, and a lot of programs would focus on your stronger side if we have some impairment on one side. But it's important that we don't do that. We focus just as much on the impaired side. That's where we want to try and get strength, tone back. That's where we want to try and get the muscles working so that we've got mobility back into there for you. Okay, take that down for me. Okay, just to make sure we can mobilize those shoulders a bit as well. Place one hand on top of the other. Remember, this is my weaker hand, so this is one of those where I'm going to support it. So I'm going to put my stronger hand here and I'm going to put my weaker arm on top. And I want this motion here, pulling back in. Can you see? So I come sideways, look, I'm there and I'm pulling it back in. I'm taking the shoulder backwards and I'm keeping it in towards the body. So what I don't want is that motion there. Keep it in and just bring it back. So imagine you've got something on the seat next to you that you want to pick up using this hand and glide that back towards there, but keep your elbow tucked in. Okay, now again, we don't want to ignore the other side, but we're not going to change the hand over this time. We're going to keep that hand on top and come the other way. Now you're going to feel some internal movement on this shoulder now. So when I was taking it back, I've got movement here and I can feel it in the back. This movement here, because I'm doing that and I'm then bringing this across the body, I can feel that here into my shoulder. So we're working front and back of our shoulder, our deltoids, one of our deltoids. Okay, and again, elbow is staying tucked in. We're just bringing it back into the body and across. Keep going with that for me. Excellent. Okay, so a couple of things as far as our shoulders are concerned. Let's come down to our legs. Now, to get from a seated to standing position, what I need you to do, feet flat on the floor, all right? Weaker leg is going to be slightly more forward than the other one. So again, this side I'm saying is my weaker side. So I'm here, that motion there, okay? That enables me to put a little more power through this leg, but this is still going to take some of the weight, all right? And if I can, I'm going to power up, but if I need to hold on, you hold on, okay? Great one to be done in the kitchen or at the dining room table here. That support then for you there is a good height for you to be able to lean on if you need it, all right? So lean forward slightly, so you're hinging from the hip. We're going to push our weight down through our heels and power up. So we push and we power up to a standing position. Once we're stood up, bring the feet in line and have a little pedal of those feet, simply because we've changed our position. I'm going to just use this chair a little bit at the back. We've changed our position. It can have an effect on our blood pressure. So a little pedal of those feet just helps us to normalise the blood flow back around the body. Okay, here, I've got my support. I'm going to lean into it here. I'm not going to push my weight onto it to start off with. What I want to do is take the weaker leg forward. So again, that position, yeah? The position we had when we stood up. Hands here just to support. So try and just make contact, don't lean on it, all right? And what I'm going to do is just a little squat down and raise up, yeah? Squat down and raise up. Now what I want you to try and focus on is feeling it going down through this weaker leg, yeah? And feel your heel making contact with the floor as you push up. So coming down and raising up. Now, the good thing about this one is because we're doing basically a squat, we don't need to change sides. So we can do it all like this and we're working the legs. Try and think about balancing yourself across the two. So think of a 50-50 split, weight across both legs. But as you power up, feel the heel touching the floor. Feel it pushing through on this weaker leg, yeah? On the back leg, what you're probably going to feel, keep going, is you're not necessarily going to feel it so much. So imagine this is my foot pushing through the heel. You might feel it more into the center and the heel here. But the front foot, the weaker one, try and push through that heel. Feel the resistance, work with it. Okay? Brilliant. Another one you can do for me, if you've got a wall, take your feet so the shoulder's width and just bring yourself down the wall here. So a little slide down and a push up. Yeah? And again, you might want some support. So what you could do there is you could have a chair for support in front of you, back against the wall, shoulders width with those feet, and slide yourself down the wall and back up. Now, not overly effective for me here, bit of a textured wallpaper on this wall, so I can feel the friction there on the back side, so not as effective. So make sure it's somewhere that is right for you. It could be a kitchen unit that's got a bit of a smoother feel to it, but you've got lots of support options for you and lots of options there. You're working your shoulders a couple of times and you're working your legs, okay? Have a go at those for me. As always, any questions, let me know. Give me a shout, all right? I'm here for you. If you've got any questions, any comments, any feedback, any requests, this was a request, give me a shout and I will quite happily do some more videos for you along those sorts of lines. I say this was, we did one recently, which was three-dimensional moves, and that's one of the things that's come up in the survey. Some more aerobic activity has come up in and circuits has come up. So we've done recently three-dimensional. We did a bit of a circuit yesterday, and we've done a couple now of aerobic type activities as well. So lots of choice there for you. But keep letting me know the sorts of things that you want if you want anything different. I'm going to keep piling these out for you, so you've got lots of things to choose from. That's the idea behind it. You've got lots of options that you can utilise. But if there's something in particular you want me to cover, I will do it for you. Okay? You take care, stay safe everybody, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.